Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We are going to be doing our very first World Team League cast here. You can see the production's a bit fancy and different. We've got Maru down here in the bottom, representing Onside Gaming. This is a Team League match going on Moondance, and a best of two match up against Storm Gaming's Maximus, the Danish Prince Paxipus. Maximus Paxipus, did I just say? I meant... Let's just call him MaxPax. Let's stick with that, shall we? This is a banging match. It is a best of two, which means at most two games are played. It could be a draw 1-1, and there's a lot of those in this format. Maru opening up with the proxy barracks in the north of the map, very close to the ledge, but it looks like MaxPax is walling that ledge off, which is going to mean that Reaper has to go the long way around. Now, this is really cool because there's a lot of awesome high-level matches in this tournament, but I do have to cast them off a clean feed. The replays are not handed over. It's hosted by SC Boy and a bunch of awesome Chinese organizers. You can see there's some lovely Chinese sponsors and stuff there all over it. So big thanks to those guys for helping share these videos with us and everything, and allowing us to cast these games. Now, there's no prints, no photo there for MaxPax. I actually love that they're using pretty much the same photo that I used for MaxPax in one of my tournaments, but we've got Maru's camera on the left side. Now, the head-to-head between these guys, I believe, is pretty Maru favored. I'll bring that one up and share that with you in a moment. Of course, Maru is the favorite as a guy who's been winning champions before MaxPax was really anything close to a top player. But we'll see how it goes here as the bunker comes in. He's going to try and get that up. MaxPax harassing with a probe at the same time. He's making the most of this. Now, remember, I can't observe this game, so normally I do like to hop around and check a lot of details. This is going to be a little bit more focused, this cast, on taking a look at what we can see, and every now and then I may cast it off the minimap. So probe comes in to be annoying. The Reaper's entering the base though, and that's where the more important action is going to be. Can he get a couple of workers? There's a Stalker about to pop out, but oh, nice focus fire by Maru. He gets one. Can he get a second? Oh, good pull away. Oh, the Zealot lands a hit. Nice pullback by Maru there. Very well done. Very well done. Does keep the Reaper alive. Another one's about to pop out, but he shouldn't really get any more damage done. But tied on workers, that's not too bad for the Terran player, who does enjoy being tied on the workers, even though his command center has just started. He's got a tech lab going up on the factory, and a Stargate does go down for the follow-up here. All right, so I've just checked in on the results, guys, and it is, in fact, something where going into this match, it is 0-5 in series for MaxPax versus Maru. Maru, the beast, the god, the king of TvP, someone who has not been upset by MaxPax. MaxPax is pretty good in the matchup. I do sometimes criticize him for being a little bit too standard and predictable. It feels a lot of the time like he's kind of playing Showtime style lately, where he's trying to just really work on his standard game. And sometimes that does mean that your opponent just takes advantage of your predictability. Reapers jump up. There's actually no units at home to defend. The Stalkers are going to run over and try to do some harassment. There's one Stalker pops just in time. The Reapers did dilly-dally on going in. The Stalkers and the Zealot are going to walk in and see exactly what they can do here. Ooh, okie doke. The Reapers trying to back off right now. This quality is not that great, guys, so I'm just going to see if I can up this as we do cast it. But it looks like we are set on the highest quality setting, so apologies for that. Okay. Oh, the Phoenix comes in. Great pickoff here from MaxPax. He's going to get the Cyclone down, and he easily beats the Reapers with the Stalkers. Oh, another Cyclone comes out, though, and that means he will get one of the Stalker kills. And the Stalker Zealot does go down, but 3 SCVs killing a Cyclone. That is a good trade for MaxPax. If he brings another Phoenix in and picks up the next one and takes it down, that's going to be a disaster for Maru. Maru needs to get out of here. He's got a Viking. If he pulls SCVs to repair, I think he's okay, but he's got to repair very quickly. The Phoenix coming in, the Stalkers and the Phoenix focusing down the Cyclone. He's going to have to pull back this Phoenix. One of the Stalkers getting very low as well. Oh, another Cyclone pops out just in time. Maru just does manage to defend. And oh my god, this is looking really good. Oh, another Cyclone goes down. Just when he defends, he gets a bit too excited. Goes out there, loses the Cyclone. Maru needs to tuck it in and just hold back. He wants to really chase MaxPax down and punish him for this aggression. But at the end of the day, he's down 8 workers. He's still stuck on just Cyclone Viking production, trying to build a bunker. Luckily for Maru, MaxPax committed so much to that his third base has not started. MaxPax is going for Robo, 4 gases, wanting to work his way into Colossus tech. And it feels like this is just going to slow down the explosion of economy. As the third command center goes down for Maru very early, he's just happy to play super turtle style with that going up in the back base. Cyclone Viking damaging the Phoenix. Good trade there as you can repair that. The Phoenix cannot repair those hull hit points. Only the shields will regenerate. Alright, we've got extra barracks and command centers going down. I feel like Maru is basically just saying, I will turtle all game. And what's weird about this situation is that he's actually going to be going up against a MaxPax who's naturally playing a Phoenix kind of turtle up style. I mean, yes, he's been aggressive so far, but from here, MaxPax has not gone charge. He doesn't have a Twilight. He doesn't have a Forge. I think we'll see a Robo Bay drop any moment now, and he'll start building Colossus. And with Maru going 3cc and everything, MaxPax needs to realize what he's up against. I think he should at this point. Two Cyclones, 3 Vikings. They're going to kill that Phoenix for sure. He's going to lose a Phoenix there. The Stalkers start to pressure the front, but there's a tank there. Get out of there, MaxPax. MaxPax does, I think, lose a Phoenix on the left side. The Stalkers get bruised. He's going for Colossus behind it. If he realizes what he's up against, he should drop a 4th and just hold the probe key down, because Maru's stim is minutes away. He's just started stim. He's only got like 2 barracks building Marines right now. And even that, they're not even building Marines. Maru is so focused on just SCVs, tanks, Ravens. He's just playing a super turtley style. He will absolutely be very hard to break, but he can't punish your greed. MaxPax finally going around the back. This is very important for him to get this information as well as some damage. Picks up a bunch of these SCVs, maybe a few too many, as it does take him a while to get some kills. He's going to try and fly out of there. The Vikings and the Cyclones looking to pick him off in the retreat, but they're not going to be able to catch it. Oh, wait. Careful, MaxPax, careful. And, oh, nice catch for Maru. The Phoenix turned around and decided to go for a battle. I don't think that was a good idea, but wait, he's got Stalkers here. Oh, a huge mistake for Maru. He was not expecting the ground army to be here to support, and MaxPax loses a few Phoenix, but the entire anti-air complement is removed. Even that last Viking going down. Look at Maru's face. Look at Maru's face. Any other Terran would be shaking their head in disappointment. They would be frustrated. They'd be angry. Maru's just like playing StarCraft. Totally normal StarCraft game. I'm like, dude, that was a terrible turn of events. Maru's like, yeah, just play the game. He's so unfazed by everything. This man's complete and utter emotional control, his lack of excitement, really is one of his superpowers. Just about any other player would have more of a reaction there, but Maru, ice cold as always, and just calm. Like, it's not even like it's a fiery intensity where he's clearly controlling the rage. He's just like, yeah, that's not good. That's fine. I'm really good at turtling to late game, so it's okay. MaxPax taking a 4th and looking like he's setting up to take a 5th base as well. He's got a good economy. I would not mind MaxPax going for 75 or 80 workers. I feel like he can push that a little further. Maru unlikely to do a 1-1 push, especially after losing all those air units. And the Phoenix still out here with very nice control. The problem, as always, is how do you finish Maru off? Because Maru is one of these guys who will turtle to Ghost Liberator and just sit there. And the further behind he is, the more he commits to the turtling. Look at this. 4th command center crazy early. He's ringing his base in turrets so prisms can't get in there. I mean, you could get speed and run 2 or 3 prisms in, but obviously if he's just sitting in his base, he'll just move some units back and deal with it. And MaxPax definitely going to be wanting to tech on and upwards. I feel like one of the best things that MaxPax could do for himself, as silly as it sounds, would be to go quickly into Tempests. I think if you realize and clue on to the fact that Maru is just playing this style, and you start building Tempests maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes from now, you can chip away at him and force him to come out and fight you, and you just need a few of them. And otherwise, lots of splash damage, lots of these normal units that MaxPax is already committing to, and you'll be good. The thing is, just going straight to a low, damage output, long-range sniping capital ship, it just feels risky. And even when you're ahead versus Maru, you don't really feel ahead because he's made so many miraculous comebacks over the years. He's so good at just surviving. Ooh. Uh-oh. Stalker's pulling back. Oh my god, look at that row of tanks. 6 siege tanks in the natural. You ain't breaking that. Definitely hanging out here and delaying the 4th floating out's a good idea, though. Notice Maru's not trying to float out and make a planetary. He's just making extra orbitals. And he's just going to slowly move out once he's got his tanks ready on the high ground. Lots of Zealots and Archons making. This is still a very basic army for MaxPax. And That usually works very well, but because Maru is scanning, he realizes, I cannot move out. I cannot fight that army. I need ghosts to EMP everything. I need to never move my tanks beyond my wall. Basically, like, notice he's shifted them over, but they're still behind a depot wall. He can't let zealots get on top of them. If he ever puts them out front at his 4th, he'll need to have everything really well set up in front of them to make sure zealots don't get on top. Because you lose those siege tanks and you lose this game. The tanks outrange everything in the Protoss arsenal. They keep the Colossus at bay. That's the most important thing. For those watching live, don't forget we, during our best game stream, now have a ! bracket command, so you guys can always help the noobs in chat who are hopping in and asking where the games are from. Really appreciate everyone helping us out with that. For those who are watching on YouTube, if this one makes it over there, don't forget to come by every Saturday. Ooh, here we go. Ah, hold on. Oh my god, tanks moved out. Like I said, zealots on top of the tanks. 2 tanks go down. But the Phoenix get blasted and an interference matrix shuts down a Colossus. MaxPax has now lost his Phoenix. Don't think he's too upset about that. He's got Blink out. He's going to rebuild the Prism here. And Maru just slowly moving to that 4th. But yeah, we cast these, a lot of our Pigcast games every Friday, Saturday. Friday if you're in North America and Europe. Saturday morning if you're in Oceania or Asia Pacific. And it's always a very fun day. Got a lot more games lined up after this one. But right now I am simply watching Maru playing Survival Simulator like it's a campaign mission. If it was any other Terran, I would just say he's completely dead. There's no way you come back. MaxPax has 95 workers, but MaxPax has not started the air transition yet. He also hasn't got like blink DTs. He's building extra robos, but in this scenario, you actually want 3 or 4 robos so that if you ever lose a fight, you can get them. Blink DT does now start up. He's getting his 3-2 upgrades. So don't get me wrong, MaxPax is getting a fantastic ground army, but ever breaking this with a ground army. Oh, he's going to go from the right side. No, not like that. At this point, Maru's army is so big that just attacking him front on is not really a winning play. You want to kind of wear him down, whether that's prisms in the back or something else. It's going to be interesting to see. There's pylons all over the map. You can see the prism tries to go in. The Ring of Turrets says, no. MaxPax would like to trade with him, but he can't just like completely smash armies together. Let's see. Oh, okay. I mean, he gets a Liberator there, but the tanks are shelling him. Zealots run in. They pick off just a few buildings, a few SCVs. And the army on the right side still looking for these little trades. MaxPax has so many more bases and money available to him that he's happy to take some awkward ones, but you can see even he's realizing Tempests are going to be a necessity. He's going up to 3 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon in the production tab. Maru is already up to like 10 orbitals. He has completed the Iron Bank. I think it's about 6 orbitals, sorry. I think 4 in the main and these 2 here. So that's very close to having the Iron Bank, unlimited mules and scans once he gets that up. And that is such a power, just massive power spike, massive growth for a Terran player. And that's why he's always going for it. It's a huge mineral investment, but the longer you drag the game out, the more it pays off. You can see MaxPax is down 22 army supply, and that's because he needs so many probes to mine. The more mules Maru gets, he can actually match and even outpace the income without having as many workers in that supply. It means he gets a bigger army and a bigger economy, and that's the power of Terran in the late game if you invest in this massive command center count. Goes for the Observer, doesn't quite get it. That command center is very exposed. I like the idea of picking this off. Exposed command centers are often one of the things that you can pick off as a Protoss player. Disruptors coming in as well. Does get a cancel on it. It's not like these are good trades for MaxPax, but he's got enough money. He doesn't have to be too worried about taking bad trades. Disruptors outrange everything in Maru's army. And this is another problem, which we saw Hero slowly learn in his semifinals versus MaxPax. If you don't get Disruptors out, you will be so inefficient. But if you get like 6 Disruptors out, you can just start picking off these tanks and these buildings from out of their range. And that forces Maru to do something about it. Oh, Disruptors coming forward, still chipping, seeing if he can find anything. Massive production, but he doesn't know about the Stargate carrier transition. So he's not going to go for the Tempest. That's interesting. I mean, carriers are very annoying to play against as the Terran player. Maru, one of the best Viking micros out there, though. He's good at focusing him down. Bio moves out to the right side. Right side, remember, this is the Chinese service, so those Terran units are going to make some pretty comedic screaming sounds as they go down. The Disruptors does fall, or Chinese client, I should say, rather than actual server. They are playing on the Koreans, or on the NA server, in between them both. The army's still posturing on the right, but this 5th base is going to go up unless MaxPax sends a complement of DTs or something down there. I like that the Disruptors are getting some trades now. I'd like to see him keep doing that. Oh, where are the disruptor shots going? Oh, he gets a big one on the bio, but the ghosts do get picked up and saved. He takes out a tank there. A couple of Colossus going down. I think all the Colossus will go down. One survives in the red. He's warping in more Stalkers, more Zealots, building Disruptors 3 at a time, which can allow him to siege this down on the left side. Zealots going after the Planetary, or is it DTs? I'm not quite sure. DTs going after. He gets a cancel. Every time you cancel that, that's very good. He moves in here. He dives for it. He gets 2 siege tanks and MaxPax. Oh, big disruptor, but his army's a bit small now. He's got to get out of there. He's trying to warp in more Zealots, as well as rallying more disruptors into this. The Prism's going to go down, though. He's got to be careful. You don't want to give Maru too good a fight, but the carriers are out as well. I think MaxPax on 99 probes may have actually shown us how to do this. The disruptors are absolutely fantastic. And that is rather funny there. Keep an eye out for the ghosts. When they go down on the Chinese client, the Chinese ghost voice actor is one of my favorite. I always cast the Chinese regionals, and it is my favorite thing. So keep your ears open if you hear one of those go down. If you've never watched a Chinese game before, it's amazing. Siege tank does take a shot. Sensor tower goes down. The disruptor's getting damaged, but not focused completely just yet. And you can see here, some of the disruptors are falling, but so are the tanks. 10 SCVs go down to the DTs in the bottom left. Wow, MaxPax here, after those early pressure and picking off all these tank units, Maru's just gone into Mega Turtle mode. And oh, another push on the front coming in. Here we go, Zealot, Stalker, Disruptor, Carrier. That orbital goes down as well. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Here we go, man. Carrier's going back. He's got a lot more carriers coming in, more Stalkers and Disruptors as well. I wouldn't mind more DTs hitting that bottom left side. That 5th base is so exposed. If Maru loses that, he's screwed. He's down to just 45 workers. So he will have a huge army when he's maxed out. And that's why MaxPax should absolutely deal with it. MaxPax is going to rotate his whole army to the left. I would like to see him continue sending DTs down the right into the natural while his main army moves to the left. I think you always want to work 2 angles at once. Maru's moving his tanks over here. You can see 1 DT moving to the right side, but that got spotted by a scan. Maru cleans it up. His army is starting to move down. He doesn't have many tanks out here. That command center is also damaged. So the Zealot, Stalker, Disruptor, Carrier army starts to come forwards. Oh, big shot in the middle of those 2 tanks. And one of those ghosts did go down. Planetary does survive for now, though. Maru needs to repair those. He's worried about DTs coming in the right side. So he's zoning the left with nukes while moving his army to the right because he's expecting the army to rotate there. But it's tough for him to track exactly where MaxPax is moving. Sensor Tower does see him retreating to the center of the map. This is buying Maru the time he needs. I think MaxPax backed off at a time when he shouldn't have. I also think he might be a little too heavy on the carriers. I know the interceptors are very efficient for engaging, but he doesn't want to take too bad a fight here. DT, Zealot, Stalkers, and even a Disruptor coming in. Oh, a couple of decent Disruptor shots. Not as big as I initially thought they would be, though. And Maru's still holding on. If you look in the bottom right, you can see the units lost tab. 11,000 resources more have been lost for MaxPax. That's perfectly fine trading if he can deny the 5th base and just keep Maru on a low base count. But right now, he's not able to do that, and Maru's actually got a giant 50 army supply advantage. The Disruptors are trying to chip away, but he's got to start getting rid of those tanks and those sensor towers as well. Those sensor towers really helping Maru as well as his scans, keeping track of where this army is right now. MaxPax has got a giant 4,000 mineral, 1,100 gas coming in a minute. 4,000 minerals, 1,100 gas is a big income, but he's got to keep expanding to these forward bases and trying to deny the minerals from Maru. Disruptor shots go forward, landing on a bunch of Marauders as well as one of the tanks, but that front tank was just left there shooting pretty much that whole time. Stalkers moving into the tank fire have a very rough time of it. And more cannons and batteries going up the middle. A Colossus gets rebuilt here for MaxPax. 8 SCVs building right now for Maru. Maru actually wants to rebuild his SCV count. The Wild Man knuckling down and just saying, no, just going to play for another 20-minute game. That's the resource advantage. Over 10 minutes of thousands of minerals a minute more coming in for MaxPax. MaxPax is definitely still in a very advantageous position, up 45 workers right now. But big EMPs land on his army. 2 ghosts do go down. Beautiful, beautiful engage. If he gets rid of the sensor tower, it's burning, and I think it burned down, but there's still 2 sensor towers overlapping the other areas, so it doesn't really limit the vision too much. Army moving down to the left side, that 5th base looking exposed. Maru's moving up to the top right with a lot of his army. He's got some very slick wall-offs. I think it's time for Disruptors to just start picking off those turrets and sensor towers from a distance, but he doesn't have many Disruptors. He's rebuilt a lot of Colossus. Oh, Disruptor's coming forward. He throws some balls up. Gets a big one on the bio. Another big one on the bio. The tank does take some big damage, but the interceptors have to pull back as the leash range does limit them. When the carriers pull back, they have to pull back soon afterwards. They can only get a certain distance from the carrier before they're forced to return back. Another Nexus goes up on the right side. MaxPax continuing to trade, not directly efficiently, but good enough when he has such a big income lead. I think it's okay if he keeps doing this, but once again, don't let him get a 6th base, or at least make it very costly for Maru to get a 6th base. Because as this trading goes on, as long as Maru keeps landing a new base, he can just drop 20 mules on it, get all the minerals, remax his army, and as long as he's trading more efficiently, he doesn't need to focus on mining as many bases out. Oh, a Disruptor Shot came down and caught a few units there. These zoning nukes, they're very desperate, right? When you're nuking your own doorstep just to keep the enemy at bay, you know things aren't looking good. And yet Maru's face says, this is just another ladder game, doing what I've done 1,000 times before. It's his ability to stay calm when behind, focused, and just methodically work his way through. It's massive. The Zealots get on top of the tank. That Thor gets boom boom, but no, the Disruptors got focused down. Great focus fire on the tanks. Oh, the tanks focus fired the Disruptors. Oh! Maru barely gets that Disruptor down. Carriers and Colossus on the run. The Colossus are going to get some decent waves, especially with the Zealots coming forward and the Carriers sending their Interceptors out. Maru may have chased too far. He thought he was going to get a big W there, crush the Carriers and win the game. He wasn't quite able to do it. He's building Thors so that they can pull out their Big Daddy 250mm Punisher cannons and shoot down the Carriers. They smash Carriers in a head-to-head as long as they fight the Carrier and not the Interceptors. The Bio coming in and a few Vikings to help focus them down as well. So Maru realizing he needs a lot of anti-carrier units. Interceptors are only 15 minerals a piece. They're very cheap, only 120 minerals for a full complement of 8 Interceptors. So they rebuild super easily. You can lose a full carrier's worth of Interceptors. Costs barely more than a Zealot to replace. Big Bio run by on this left side. Recall's going to come in there, though. And Maru immediately runs home, tail between his legs. He's getting a little bit of a bank up now. He's back up to 60 workers. He's still up 43 army supply. Tanks and Vikings trying to keep him back. MaxPax. You know, I was saying Tempest earlier in this game. I do like the way MaxPax has played it. I always criticize Tempest for being so low impact, and like I said, only a few of them at most, but he seems to just be moving well enough and using the Disruptor's siege range so effectively. And that's the most important thing. The Disruptor is one of the longest range units in the game when you use the edge of its splash, and that is just such a good thing to do. Maru's going to try and secure a base over here. He doesn't have a planetary. He's going to try and grab a Nexus and run away. Not a bad move. I don't think MaxPax cares about losing the probes. Losing the Nexus is just a little bit annoying, though. Remember that MaxPax hasn't really been securing any of the forward bases. So his economy, where he moves his next few Nexus to, are going to be very risky. He's going to be in an exposed position. He finally starts up a Tempest. MaxPax thinking that range might be the answer. I'd like to see the Zealots go up the guts. It looks like they will do so. I don't know if they'll find much. They find a siege tank. Oh, a whole bunch of siege tanks. That's exactly it. Just when Maru had all of his defenses focused on the extreme flanks, he left an opening in the middle, and that was a great move by MaxPax. Gets 4 tanks for a bunch of Zealots. This is absolutely beautiful. I've already spotting a comment in my Twitch chat. This game makes no sense. Terran can't die. ... Now, not to make fun of the commenter, because it does look like that, but a small correction from those in the know. Maru can't die. Anybody else would have been dead 10 to 15 minutes ago, maybe earlier, but this is Maru. He is the best Terran in the world for a reason, often considered to be the greatest of all time, though many argue that it's between Serral and him. Some would say he needs to win a world championship before he can be called greatest of all time. He's definitely the greatest GSL player of all time. So when he has lots of time to prepare for his matches in the top league in Korea, he is the best at that. And there we go, Marine Marauder running in the left side. He's going to get some more damage done. MaxPax may have a big bank, but he doesn't want to lose this economy. This is very frustrating. And using his mobility so well as Maru, hitting both of these bases on the left. MaxPax is going to push in, though. He says, well, if you're doing that, surely you're not in great position at home. Some of the army is scrambling home. The tanks are starting to get busted, as are the Vikings and Thors. A few Disruptors are going down, though. Oh, man, only 2 Disruptors left. 1 Disruptor left deep in the red. The Colossus are low as well. MaxPax may have done some damage here. I don't know if it was good enough, though. He lost a base on the left. Actually, one of his bases survived. I thought he lost 2 bases, but one of them survived. It had so much cannon battery that stalled out the army. MaxPax is already rebuilding at least one of these next side. Vikings, oh, on the hunt. They grab a carrier, and they're not really paying much of a price for it. The Marines and the Thors are there. Disruptor shot comes forward. The Interceptors do a little bit of damage, but they've got to get out of there. Now, checking the air upgrades, there is no +3 shields. It's about to finish, and there's only +1 air armor, so I wouldn't mind MaxPax getting some more air armor upgrades just to make those interceptors a bit tankier versus the Marines. This 5th base, or 6th base, or 7th base, whatever it is for Maru on the right side, it's the important base, it's the fresh base, it's under siege. The Disruptor's coming forward. He lands a shot on the tank. It's deep in the red, but it doesn't go down. MaxPax still has a 5,000 resource bank advantage. Problem: his income's being hit in a big way, and it's actually only barely ahead of Maru right now. Whenever Maru drops a bunch of mules, his income is actually ahead. DTs are all warping in. I think a big DT backstab on the bottom side could snipe Maru's base, and even though there's not many minerals left down there, it's still nice to clear that territory and get rid of some of his infrastructure down there. The DTs are about to go in on the south base. He's pushing the top at the same time. I don't think he really wants to commit to this. He's just poking in, seeing what he can find. The Disruptor's getting some shots, and the Planetary goes down. Perfect play by MaxPax. He threw away some units at the top, but it was to distract Maru so that his DTs could get in without the repair being ordered quickly enough. Maru losing that base, loses control of the south side of the map. A bunch of his territory and spotting units are gone, and that always sucks. Tempest starting to pick off Vikings. Stalker's trying to come forward to cover them. Now, there's no Psystorm in this game, and that is a mistake. In the late game, Psystorm is massive because it's the one splash damage that can hit air units. If you land a Storm on the Vikings, or Liberators if those come out at some point, it's massive. And it's very difficult for Maru to both make sure every single High Templar is EMP'd at all times and deal with everything else he's got to do. He's only got one Ghost in here. He actually needs to build a few more of those Ghosts. Maru is broke right now, but he has a giant army advantage. Can he make it worth anything? Once again, focusing down the Disruptors. I feel like this is a problem for MaxPax. He's got to be more careful with the Disruptors and make sure they're using the very edge of their range to outrange the siege tanks. If they start doing that, I think he can get some really positive trades. He could also run forward and definitely shoot that Ghost with the nuke, but the Vikings are zoning him out, scaring him off. And nice nuke for Maru. He's going to take out a bunch of the static. There's a lot more static behind it, though, so this position will not be abandoned by MaxPax, not anytime soon. Here we go. Carriers, Tempests, Disruptors, and Stalkers all coming on forward. The Disruptors are going to start getting some big hits. The Bio and the Vikings coming forward. A Tempest does get shot down, pulling back to the battery. Overcharge. MaxPax is still at 90 probes. His army is much smaller, but with the batteries, the cannons, can he hang on? Oh my god, the EMPs are massive. The Vikings do not have the firepower to take out the rest of these carriers. More Zealots warping into the fight, but my god, it's so close. MaxPax is spending a lot of money to get this out, but a Disruptor shot coming forward is a big one. Thors are coming up, though, and I feel like maybe warping in a DT here could help, but other than that, he's going to have to pull back and give up the base. Maru, with a massive victory here, is going to strike at the heart of MaxPax economy, take this out, and MaxPax needs to transfer his workers. He's been microing for the last 10 minutes. I'm guaranteeing you that his bases are not... You can see probes starting to transfer through the middle of the map now, but his bases are not evenly saturated. The bottom left base has no probes on it, and that's a big issue. 84 workers. He is mining 3,000 minerals a minute, so it's a decent income for MaxPax, but he's got to make sure he keeps maintaining that, especially after losing this base. His bank has been run through. Maru, he's re-landing on the bottom to try and get the gas there. If Maru can take this middle central base on the cliff, that's huge for him. He's going to move his army forward. He's going to float a command center out here. That's what he's looking for. Remember that Maru, as long as he keeps taking a base, he's good. He is no longer up in army supply, though, and that is an issue. And with so little money coming in, Maru's got to be very careful. The next fight most likely decides this game. Does Maru have what he needs to take care of the interceptors? His army is very A-move focused, so the way this army works is he's got to just gun down the carrier interceptors. Disruptor shot coming in, as well as a bit of a Tempest flank. Disruptor's trying to stop Maru from chasing him down, and a good fighting retreat from MaxPax withdraws until his Tempests and Disruptors can get some shields and some shots recharged. Not many other units in the mix. 5 carriers on the way for MaxPax. Wow. So he's committed to the carriers. He is convinced that this is the way to do it. He's going to move down this right side. Maru, he's got the base. He's dropping the mules, though. He's got a tank set up. The tanks, if they can shoot down the Disruptors, the Thors, the Marines, and the Ghosts can gun down the Interceptors. The Tempests are still a problem, though, because there's very few Vikings left, and oh, DT's coming in. I wouldn't mind him just clicking on the sensor tower, to be honest. He could take out the missile turret. Oh my god. Oh my god. +3 DTs do so much damage. Ooh, and this is going to open up a path to the production. This is a massive move for MaxPax, because he's now opening up a path to the production. This is huge. This is massive. If he can get on top of that production, I mean, that can really checkmate Maru. So definitely something that Maru has to worry about. Not just this top right base that is right next to Protoss territory, but also his main base and the production that's exposed there. MaxPax is out of bases to mine though, right? He's saturated the bottom left. He's got 2,500 minerals coming in a minute, 1,600 gas, tons of gas. But what new bases can he take? This one that's right in front of Maru's base. Other than that, he's taken them all, and they're all starting to mine out. He's got one fresh base going, one that's decently mining, another that's got a few mineral patches that are starting to get exhausted. You can see MaxPax's mineral income dropping down in that bottom tab, down to 2,200 resources a minute. He's still got a killer army, though. Maru's army is bigger, though. Keep that in mind. Tempests, picking off the tank, picking off the medevac, picking off some Marines. Nothing funnier than 5 Tempests all shooting a single Marine. Not very good at spreading their fire. That is one of the big weaknesses of Tempest's tendency to massively overkill. Oh, Ghost gets targeted though. He's gonna try and... Oh, the Tempest! The Tempest run way too far forward. 2 of them get blasted by the Thors in an EMP. Big mistake there for MaxPax. He's gonna try and replace them with more carriers. Oh, this is just a mass air disruptor army. There's no Psystorm here, and I would criticize that more, but there's no Vikings, so it's totally okay. It would still be great to have just 1 or 2 High Templar come in from a flank. You know, a Storm is a game-changing ability, but the Disrupted Tempest Carrier can get it done. Turrets are building on this right side. Maru, he's thinking about securing this next base here in front of it. Maru's building command centers right now, which is kind of wild if you ask me, because it's like, how many minerals do you think are left on this map? Do you really want to put 800 minerals into command centers? But he's lost a few of them, and he feels like he needs scans and mules in order to actually just stay in this game. MaxPax starting to kill a few of his own probes now. He's going to try and replace those probes with a bit more army. He should throw away a lot of these. DTs. Oh, the DTs see the army. Does Maru see the DTs, though? Tempests are chipping away at the top. Those DTs could blink on the force. It's a crazy gamble. Just hoping Maru would react slowly. But yeah, MaxPax runs away with his DTs. Picks off these gas geysers. The Tempest are fantastic. Oh, man. And they've got that bonus damage to building upgrades. They do about 85 damage a shot to buildings. Ooh, bottom left base. Oh, my God. Bottom left base is going to go down. He hadn't even fully saturated it. Big fight in the top at the same time. DT's going in on the natural. Big Widow Mine hit does do damage there. The carriers and the Tempest coming in, though. MaxPax feels like there's just too many units that aren't here. He's going to dive on the economy and the production. The big bio army in the bottom left may have been a big mistake. Maru, you can see in his camera, I think that's a little bit of regret there. I know it's hard to read. It's a very, very slight shift in his facial expressions, but I guarantee you he's not happy. Yes, taking out the Protoss base is good, but he could have done it with 8 Marines. Sending so much bio. Ghost down there, has opened up the window, and MaxPax has kicked the window in, smashed the glass with a brick at Carrier Tempest, and he said, what are you going to do about it, buddy? Your command centers are all going down. All those command centers, you've lost all of your income. Oh, here comes the army. There are still disruptors out there, though. Not many, but there are some. Oh, get out of there. Get out of there, MaxPax. The one thing is he could still get chased down. Those interceptors can get gunned down by the Marines. Oh, big balls! MaxPax landing some big juicies on the face of Maru, and Maru not too happy about that. The Tempest and the carriers can always hide in the dead space. There's nothing that can chase them there. MaxPax says, come and chase me, buddy. I can hit you. You can't hit me. Get shredded, son. And Maru there, I think, realizing this is not a great spot. He's gonna sigh a big exhale, and he does tap out. MaxPax comes out on top in game 1. All right. Well, it's a best of 2, remember, so we're playing 2 games no matter what. Let's see if Maru can get a little bit of revenge. That was a beautiful opening from his opponent in the last game that he had to deal with. Down in the bottom left side, representing Psystorm, MaxPax. Psystorm's a really fun team. MaxPax, Gumiho, a bunch of other really good players. Maru, of course, on onside with Neeb, Rex, Solar. And someone who I'm forgetting. I'm sorry, player, I'm forgetting. I think there's someone else there as well, but some very, 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 very good teammates that he has. This is a nice small map. Maru does look a little frustrated by that last game, but he's on Waterfall now. And I have to wonder, are the maps preset? Because both of these maps suck for Protoss. Like, MaxPax did a great job in that last one, but, I mean, if Maru was playing very aggressively with, like, a 2-base timing, I think it's so hard to stop on Moondance. And Waterfall, another small map where Terran can get in your face very early. So I would argue this is 2 maps in a row which are very Terran favored. But I have noticed a big pattern of a lot of Protoss players picking Moondance. And I've been pretty adamant that this is just bad map vetoing and bad map choices for them. Now, Maru's opening up with 2-Rax Reaper. Oh, look at that. He's leaning forward in his chair. He's stretching his neck. For those who don't know, Maru does have shoulder-related kind of nerve and wrist pain injuries and stuff like that. So maybe a little tense after that last game. Even though he looked so relaxed, there was still a lot of micro and mechanics that he had to execute. 2-Rax Reaper is exceptionally good if the Protoss runs across the map with a gateway unit and you can kill it. Or if they simply only build 1 or 2 gateway units, they don't chrono boost them much, and you run in and kill like 5 or 6 probes. The reason this is so good is it hits a fair bit earlier than the 2 Reaper Hellion from the very quick factory opening. And I just think that the 2 Reaper 1 Hellion is just, or 3 Reaper 2 Hellion, it just hits a bit too late. I think it's too easy, especially because so many Terran players did it for a while. It's too easy to defend now. The Zealot does get spotted. Maru's going to pick that off. He does take a Zealot hit. Maru nubbing it just a little bit there. And meanwhile, behind this, there is a 3-gate. Now, okay, what's weird is MaxPax opened up double gas. So Hero's been doing this off 1 gas a lot. Sometimes double gas, but also sometimes single gas, like the old parting style. And single gas hits way harder. Here we go, 3 Reapers. They've already got a Zealot kill. They're going to dive into that base. Good, quick probe evac. Nice control by MaxPax. And MaxPax is going to answer with a big gateway timing. He's going to be hitting with like 5-6 Stalkers, maybe a bunch of Adepts very quickly on the other side of the map. Maru's building add-ons. We don't see a lot of unit production, nor a bunker just yet. Oh, man. If he swaps that factory on the reactor, which it looks like he's going to, that's bad. But he's building a Widow Mine. Okay, Maru still doesn't know what's happening. Remember, he didn't get in for the vision, but oh, he scouts a proxy. That's big. That's very, very important. Seeing this ahead of time is huge. So he's going to realize, okay, the Stalker's coming. They're going to be annoying. He quickly drops the bunker. 3 Marines building at a time. He's got the barracks on the reactor and a second barracks up. He's building a Marine right now, a Marauder. He's going to try and get more Widow Mines out. I think the Widow Mines are really going to help him buy time for that bunker to finish. He just needs to make sure it doesn't shoot on a single Adept. Oh, unburrow. Okay, great unburrow on the Widow Mine. But MaxPax, oh, he doesn't focus it. He lost vision because the Adept went down. Great micro by by Maru, sorry. And MaxPax takes the worst end of the trade. Reaper's hunting down those 2 low hit point Stalkers. Maru, with the Killer Instinct, is going to strike out here and chase down those Stalkers. Fantastic start to these trades here. Maru with the quick second barracks build, feeling very good about this one. Oh, the Adept's going to try and shade forwards, but dude, he's outnumbered. He's outgunned. The 2 barracks, the Widow Mines, the Reapers. Just such a... This is a bad matchup of builds for MaxPax, and he should not have committed to it. I know it's easy to say now from our point of view. I don't think he completely realized, hey, this is a 2-Rax opening. You don't want to commit to a 3-gate attack into a 2-Rax opening. The Terran has so many units out. Unless you've caught those Reapers, he's going to have more than you. That being said, is Maru chasing too far? I think Maru's chasing too far right now. These Stalkers can out-micro this. One more warp in. That is actually a bit of a problem. Maru's down a few workers. There's a DT shrine in the way, which is very clever tech. Maru, oh, you better watch out for that. For those who don't know, MaxPax is the smartest Dark Templar player in the world. And the reason I say this is not because, oh, it's so smart, he made invisible units. Pig, I'm a salty player who loses to DTs, and I hate when you say this. You pretend it's skillful, and it's just hoping the other player doesn't have detection. The thing is, MaxPax has a much higher utility rate and success rate with DTs than anyone else. The reason is he's always thinking about, when is this going to be a surprising strat? Unfortunately for him, there is an engineering bay on the way, but no Raven. He realizes with this pressure he's put on, there's unlikely to be detection for the Terran. The Widow Mine drop being handled with poise so far. Very good play, but nice focus fire there. Gets a Stalker and a probe. And MaxPax needs to get back to mining. This is a massive disruption to his income. And there's going to be a big 2-base push coming. DTs have been warped in on the other side, though. DT's about to go in. Raven just started. DT's walking in. DT's walking in. Observer, please! Oh my god. You guys can tell I'm not used to casting without having control of where the camera goes. It drives me crazy. DT's getting some damage, but only 1 DT because he took the mining time damage at home. The other DTs are coming in very slow. He's getting some good damage. 6 SCVs, but he's going to lose 2 DTs for it. Not as much damage as it could have been. If there was another DT in there 5 seconds earlier, and then a 3rd DT kind of coming in right behind, he might still have one in there doing damage and really messing up Maru. As it is, MaxPax stuck on 2 base. He's got Blink now. He's going to try and control the map with Blink Stalkers and go up into Charge Archon, I believe. I think he realizes Maru's going to hit a 2 base push and he needs to get up a big fighting army. He's got a 3rd on the way, but notice he's not building probes. He knows that he's got to just get his gateway count up, get his charge, and try to survive. Tank sieging up, going to take out this proxy gate. Very good move by Maru. MaxPax runs around, the cheeky bugger. He's going to look for some damage there. Oh, focusing the bunker, not the best, but I like the run past. Oh, the stim though. The stim and the depot raise. He's going to recall. I would have liked for him to do a blink, another blink, just lose a stalker or 2, blink across, and then recall. He loses 4 stalkers. Maru is absolutely going to feel confident after that. He got rid of the gateway. He got rid of the stalkers. MaxPax was so desperate to buy time for himself that he actually threw away a bunch of units well before Maru was ready to even push. He thought Maru was ready to push, and he panicked. Maru was not about to push. Maru was waiting for these upgrades. He was just clearing the gateway, getting his units together, making sure there was nothing ready to backstab him. So this is played into Maru's hand, and now he's pushing across one of the smallest maps in the pool, and there's only 4 stalkers out there. They can one-shot Marines, but with the tanks and the Marauders, they've got good range. You see how the Marauders and the tanks kind of rotate to the front as the Marines pull back. Maru has a killer push coming. Storm's on the way. There's a Prism. There's some High Templar gathering energy, but Storm is still a minute out. And I don't know how you're going to buy time for a minute. The Drilly Boys have been pulled. Maru has blown on the conch, and he said, "Drilly Boys, assemble!" The High Templar do not have Storm yet. If he had Storm, it might be a game changer, but he's got so few units to support it. Oh, this is an absolute disaster for Maximus Paximus. And even after such a lovely game 1, Maru will not be denied from his revenge. It looks like Storm... Oh my god, it got depowered. It got depowered at 99%. Oh, that's deadly, man. This is a small map. It's a very, very, it's a map where people feel very claustrophobic. And Maru's showing us exactly why. That Terran push hits like a brick. GG, well played.